കോഴിക്കോടിൻ്റെ കായിക ചരിത്രത്തിലെ ശ്രദ്ധേയവും ശക്തവുമായിരുന്നു ശാരദ ടീച്ചർ. ശക്തമായിരുന്ന വനിതാ സാന്നിധ്യമായിരുന്നു ശാരദ ടീച്ചർ. 1952 കോഴിക്കോട് ഗവൺമെൻറ് ട്രെയിനിങ് കോളേജിൽ ഫിസിക്കൽ എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ ടീച്ചറായി ഔദ്യോഗിക ജീവിതം ആരംഭിച്ച ശാരദ ടീച്ചർ 58 കോഴിക്കോട് ഫിസിക്കൽ എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ കോളേജിൽ അധ്യാപികയായി നിയമിതയായി. തുടർന്ന് സ്പോർട്സ് സംഘാടക എന്ന നിലയിൽ കോഴിക്കോട്ടും കേരളത്തിൽ തന്നെയും കായിക പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങളിൽ വ്യാപൃതയായി. അതിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായി വോളിബോൾ, കബഡി, ക്രിക്കറ്റ്, ഫുട്ബോൾ എന്നീ കളികളുടെ സംസ്ഥാനതല മത്സരങ്ങൾ സജീവമായി സംഘടിപ്പിക്കുന്നതിൽ പങ്കുവഹിച്ചു. കോഴിക്കോട് ജില്ലാ സ്പോർട്സ് കൗൺസിൽ അഫിലിയേറ്റഡ് ചെയ്ത കബഡി, ഖോഖോ, സൈക്ലിംഗ്, സൈക്കിൾ പോളോ, വനിതാ ഫുട്ബോൾ, വനിതാ ക്രിക്കറ്റ് എന്നീ അസോസിയേഷനുകളുടെ സ്ഥാപകയായിരുന്നു ശാരദ ടീച്ചർ. 1976 കോഴിക്കോട് ആതിഥേയത്വം വഹിച്ച ദേശീയ വനിതാ ജൂനിയർ ക്രിക്കറ്റ് ടൂർണമെന്റ് വെസ്റ്റ് ഇൻഡീസ് വനിതാ ക്രിക്കറ്റ് ടീമും ഇന്ത്യ സൗത്ത് സോൺ ടീമും തമ്മിലുള്ള മത്സരം, 1980 നടന്ന മൂന്നാമത് ഏഷ്യൻ വനിതാ ഫുട്ബോൾ ടൂർണമെന്റ് എന്നിവയൊക്കെ ടീച്ചറുടെ സംഘാടക മികവ് വിളിച്ചറിയിക്കുന്നതായിരുന്നു. ഏഷ്യൻ വനിതാ ഫുട്ബോൾ ടൂർണമെന്റിന്റെ നടത്തിപ്പുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് പല പൂർവേഷ്യൻ രാജ്യങ്ങളും ടീച്ചർ സന്ദർശിക്കുകയുണ്ടായി. ടീച്ചറുടെ സംഘാടക മികവിനോടുള്ള ആദരമായിരുന്നു ഏഷ്യാഡിന് മുൻപായി തിരുവനന്തപുരത്ത് വെച്ച് നടത്തിയ ദേശീയ വനിതാ സ്പോർട്സിന്റെ കൺവീനറായി അവരെ തിരഞ്ഞെടുക്കാൻ ദേശീയ നേതൃത്വത്തെ പ്രേരിപ്പിച്ചത്. കേരള സ്പോർട്സ് കൗൺസിൽ അംഗം, വനിതാ ക്രിക്കറ്റ് അസോസിയേഷൻ സീനിയർ വൈസ് പ്രസിഡന്റ്, വനിതാ ക്രിക്കറ്റ് ഫെഡറേഷൻ സെക്രട്ടറി, കോഴിക്കോട് സ്പോർട്സ് കൗൺസിൽ പ്രവർത്തക സമിതി അംഗം എന്നീ നിലകളിൽ ഉന്നത തലങ്ങളിൽ പ്രവർത്തിച്ച് മൺമറഞ്ഞുപോയ കോഴിക്കോടിന്റെ അഭിമാനമായിരുന്ന ശാരദ ടീച്ചറെ രഞ്ജി മെമ്മോറിയൽ ഈസ്റ്റിൽ ക്രിക്കറ്റ് ക്ലബ് ആദരവോടെ സ്മരിക്കുന്നു.
Thank you, Murli. That was, I am sure that all of you remember Sharada teacher. People, who have been associated with sports, there's no way we could miss Sharada teacher. So let us all rest in peace. Now it's over to the next program, that is we are showcasing the winner of the last quiz. So like everybody knows, we are having this quiz for each and every webinar, and the winner of this webinar, this quiz will be called on Jan 17 for the Renji Memorial match at Devary College on Jan 17th. So today's winner is Anand Ramaswamy, who's currently in Dubai. So congratulations, Anand. Now it's over. The next on the agenda is our introduction of our chief guest. I request Hari to please introduce our chief guest.
Good morning, everyone. My job is much simpler because Kutti has been having played in both sides of the generation, doesn't need much of an introduction. But as a first-hand witness to the transformation into the Kutti we all know, it's my privilege to introduce him today as the chief guest and the speaker for this webinar. Narayana Kutti came into limelight during his inter-school tournaments held way back in 1982-83. Of course, obviously with his power hitting, and thereafter he joined the St. Joseph's College, Devagiri, and after a few initial ordinary matches in the middle order, he shifted to the opening slot in the intercollegiate tournaments, wherein the semi-finals, I remember having been one of the players who played along with him. He just tore into the REC bowling, who were one of the stronger teams those days, and carried on the same form into the B-zone matches against Victoria College, who had the bowlers of the caliber of Abdul Noor. Unfortunately, we lost the match, but that resulted in the transformation of Narayana Kutti into what he is today. From there, he just took on and went on to play district zone at various age levels. And after continuous stints of scores in the under-22, including a century in the interzonals against Central Zone, and thereafter under 25 and seniors. Narayanakutti was picked for Ranji Trophy team. He had a wonderful experience there also. He has scored 3 centuries in the Ranji Trophy matches. And then after a while, he switched to refereeing in 2000, match refereeing. Then around 2012, he was empaneled by BCCI. He has done the refereeing in many matches like ICC Tri-Nation Cup in Singapore, Under 19 Asia Cup, and other matches, other division, ICC division matches 3 and 5 at Oman. And he has been a regular feature in the IPL from 2017. Narayanakutti has also been known to be a very shrewd captain, and also not only on the field but off the field. He has been very considerate in molding the youngsters who played along with him, the newcomers, imbibing the confidence and making them understand the value of playing for the state. He is presently working as income tax officer at Trivandrum. His parents are at Calicut. He has a brother, Sunil, who is president in Oman Airways. Narayanakutti is married to Priya. He has 2 children who are still in their studies. Presently, he is there at Dubai officiating in the IPL tournament. And as I come to know, he has official duty today evening. So I think it will be unfair to take more of his time. So once again, Kuti, we are all honored to have you here with us. And we are all waiting to hear from you, your experience. Over to you, Kuti. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Everyone who was logged in, friends, cricket lovers, senior cricketers, contemporaries, and youngsters. I think few of you I have not met or I have not seen, I don't recollect. And anyway, uncertain if I can match Dr. Raghavan, Kesh, and the passion shown by Krishna Kumar when he did this talk, but I'll try to keep you all interested. For me, like the brochure said, a product of St. Joseph's College, Devgiri, definitely. But it all started for me from St. Joseph's School. We had a great group who loved cricket and used to come to school on weekdays to play the game. And those days, it used to be the corkball cricket, as we could only afford that. As a group, it was a regular practice to spar with the next door neighbors, Gujarat Vidyalaya, and winning used to be a matter of pride. And just reminding that this was during a period where the school could boast of being champions or runners-up in GV Raja All Kerala football tournament, not cricket, football tournament for schools, and had many players who later went on to represent Kerala and then the country. Cricket was never a priority for our school at that time. And a few things which sparked my desire to play cricket. The first one which comes to mind is the Ranji Trophy match at Calicut in 1983. It was a big event which sparked the desire to play. Saw the stars of Karnataka and Kerala go at each other on a matching track in Municipal Stadium. Kerala team was staying at Kidsons. If I remember correctly, remember running behind the auto from Kidsons to the stadium in which K. Jairam, our hero and Kerala captain for that year, was going for practice. Krishna Kumar sir also played the game. I remember watching the whole practice of both the teams sitting in the gallery. And what comes to mind now was a big 6 hit by Hariharan into the indoor stadium, right across the ground, with his Slazenger bat. These were big moments as a youngster. The second thing which comes to mind was the match between the Calicut University and a visiting English side at Malanchira Maidanam. And the players who remain in mind are Kunyamu and PG Ganesh, both of whom went on to play Ranji Trophy later. And if I'm not wrong, PG Ganesh hit few balls into that police headquarters. The atmosphere at Malanchira at that time was electric. And just reminding, those were the days when we had to go to a movie to watch cricket, which used to be part of the Indian News Review. This was prior to 1983. Everything changed in 83 with India winning the World Cup. From school days, Manoj P. Vanunath, wicketkeeper batsman who Hari and me were referring to earlier, a close friend with whom I lost contact after leaving Calicut in 89, but reconnected a few years back, was instrumental in more ways than many. He used to come to school each day with the details of games happening at Mananchira. A few of us cricket crazy guys used to skip lunch and run up to Mananchira to watch 30 minutes of cricket and then run back to be in class on time. Never knew who was playing, but knew the tournament, be it a fact or the inter-districts or the inter-zonals. And this was our only chance of watching real cricket. And it goes without saying that it had a great impact on our school kids. And we made up our mind to go for the district selections next time around. And as decided, we gave our names at Mananchira for the under 15 selection trials and waited for our names to be called. Fortunately or unfortunately, as fate would have it, I got cold feet and did not respond when my name was called. Many from our school made it, including Manoj, and this was an eye-opener for me. Made it to the district team very next year in 1984 as a pace bowler, but the team had much better pace bowlers in the side. The day before the inter-districts match at Mananchira, it was either Surendran sir or Mani sir who called me aside and asked me if I can open the innings. The response from me was instant, and I opened the batting for Calicut and went on to the under-19 state camp at Palakkad the same year. Those were the days when we couldn't afford a cricket bat. And if you tell the parents about buying one, the first response would be to stop playing. So never ask them for one. On breaking the news of my selection to district side as an opening batsman, the same evening, my dad took me to Lohi Sports in SM Street and bought me a cricket bat, a BDM bat, which costed about 205 rupees. I still have the bat at home, and it's almost 38 years. And again, my dad, who showed no interest in my cricket to that point, watched the match, my first district match, inter-district match we played against Tellicherry. For some time, sitting in a scooter from his road between Mananchira Maidanam and the Park Restaurant, which, if we all remember, served excellent faludas. The road is no longer there after the facelift of Mananchira Maidanam into Mananchira Square. Once the initial selection blues were over for me, the path was fast and never had a hitch. Broke into the Ranji squad in 87. After a string of good performances in junior cricket and the senior zonals while in my second year BCom. This contributed towards being elected as the general sports captain for the college, St. Joseph's College, Jayagiri, with a big majority the same year. And actually, I failed in discharging my duties as a general captain because I was never in college. I was already part of the Ranji Trophy side, and when the annual sports meet used to happen, I was never in college. Again, coming to senior cricket, opening the batting for Calicut in senior district matches for the first time at Tellicherry. We got past the challenge of Wayanad district team, which was led by legendary OK Ramdas, who had come out of retirement. And in the finals, we had an early setback when I think all the players who were part of the team will remember Ramakrishnan, my senior opening partner, had to retire with a fractured wrist of the bowling of Usman Kuti. Kannur used to be a very strong outfit when it comes to senior districts, and we were beaten fair and square. Coming to Ranji Trophy again, unlike Kesh and KK sir, Krishna sir, my ride in Ranji Trophy was very smooth, was in the squad for 43 games and played 42 of them. Coming to the Ranji Trophy squad as a fourth opener in a team which was divided zone-wise, we had 9 from South Zone, 4 from Central Zone, 2 from North Zone, that is me and Sudesh, TC Sudesh from Tellicherry. I was lucky enough to come into a squad with Jairam, Thomas Matthew, Ramesh, Rajesh and Hariharan from the team which played at Calicut in 1983. Have to mention Jairam as the most influential player for me. I don't know if Jairam has logged in, but Jairam has been the most influential player for me. Jairam had scored 4 back-to-back hundreds the year before I came into the side. Jairam, S. Santosh and Thomas Matthew, who was my senior opening partner for 4 seasons, were the players I remember who welcomed me into the side and made me comfortable, which is worth its weight in gold for a junior coming into the side. This was the lesson for me. As the years went by, I always ensured that a newcomer is made comfortable and always helped them to find their feet. Age 29 in 1995, the selectors informed me of the decision of relieving me of the responsibility of being a current first-class cricketer. Announced my retirement the same day, never regretted the decision, but played my best cricket for the next 5 years. Was immersed in office work and the responsibility of running a family. For a few years, my connect with Kerala cricket was ceased. During this phase, I was not following cricket closely. It was then that SK Nair, the former secretary of BCCI, called up and asked if I was interested in taking up the job of selector, to which I had no objections. Joined the committee headed by Jairam and had Ranjit Thomas and Sudeep as members. memorable years of Ranji Trophy selector came when was part of the selection committee under the chairmanship of Philip Verghese in 2004. OK Ramdas and Keshavan were the other co-selectors. Well, Keshavan was my selector in the 1994-95 season when the team made it to the knockout stage for the first time in Kerala Ranji Trophy history by beating Tamil Nadu by an innings. We four selectors separated by generation each. Well, Philip was in his 60s, OKRD was in his 50s, Keshavan was in the 40s, and I was in my 30s. We gelled so well that we enjoyed every moment in the field and off it at Palghat, where most of the home matches used to happen. This was the time when Kerala cricket had two fast bowlers who had played Kerala cricket in Chinu, the present Kerala Ranji Trophy coach, and Srishant, who was trying for a comeback to a state squad after being cleared by BCCI. With experienced spinners in Ananthan, Ramprakash, and Suresh, we were a formidable bowling attack. And something which I don't want to recollect with savor actually. The curtains fell on the illustrious career of Anantha Padmanabhan, probably the best cricketer Kerala has produced during our tenure. Harrietton would remember what transpired. Playing as a guest player for RBI in 1987 in tournaments, and during one of the tournaments in Ernakulam, I was in the room with S. Rajesh, who was talking to TC Sudesh about putting in an application for employment in Reserve Bank. I jumped in and asked if I can also apply, as they were struggling to find eligible candidates who had a degree. I was in my final year then. The only question he asked was, will you pass your will you clear your exams? Somehow I gathered enough courage and said, I definitely will. And Rajesh took my application. I cleared BCom with decent marks and was, for someone who had never attended second and third year of college, and joined RBI in February 1989, moved to Trivandrum, and that was the end of my Calicut days. I have to mention here that Hariharan, my captain at Devagiri, was the best captain I played under in my Calicut days. S. Rajesh, who captained Kerala as well as Reserve Bank, will remain the best captain ever for me. Joined the Income Tax Department, Chennai in 1992. Played competitive first division cricket at Chennai for 5 years till 1997. And later on, I took a transfer back to Kerala and has been based out of Trivandrum since then. Something on the lighter side, I'll give you an example of how naive we used to be in our school days, early days of cricket. Who in Kerala cricket used to be present at the nets, at the open nets at Mananchara. I can recollect few names, that is Govindan, KP Govindan, who we all used to look up to. Vijay Krishnan, Keshavan, Anup, Hari, missing many names I know, but I can never forget Mani sir, BG Raghavan sir, and Surendran sir. And you know what? At some point during the net, we heard two senior guys, senior players, talking about Govindan. That is Govi Tale Upayogichana bowl cheyyunnathu. Okay, that gave me two sleepless. Now, how can somebody bowl with his head? Then later on, after 2 days, all of us sat together, discussed, and we asked the senior player to explain in detail what that meant. That was how naive we used to be those days. Mananchira, as all of you know, was a breeding ground not only for cricketers, but for youngsters who took up other sports and games as well. The multi-sports activities at Mananchira ground is from where most of the Kozhikodan sports lovers sharpened their skills. A big advantage we as youngsters had was the open nets at Mananchira and the presence of seniors, and the regular practice at Mananchira where all players, irrespective of their club or college teams, came for the open net. This helped each other to sharpen their skills. After the nets, the friendship and the camaraderie developed naturally, and by the time I was in the district team, the common nets helped me to know my teammates well enough before the travel for the inter-district matches, which used to be held in Malappuram, Tellicherry, occasionally at Kasaragod and Wayanad. Surendran sir and Mani sir, whose brother Gopal sir was the KCA secretary for a few years, were the guiding force as far as I was concerned. Krishna Kumar sir and Kesh were the seniors we all looked up to, and we grew up hearing about the exploits of many senior cricketers, KP Satish, Kalyan Sundaram Barisi, to name a few. Kesh was very much in Calicut, but the Kerala Express had left for Chennai. And in the nets, in the Mananchara open nets, the new ball, whenever it was taken, used to be shared by Govi and Surendran sir. And this helped in understanding how to play swing and pace as well. Surendran sir showed no mercy and used to bowl real quick. Still remember being hit on the chest once and was spitting blood for 2 days. Couldn't tell anyone at home, as that could be the end of cricket. We had people who saw things differently at the nets, and you need to hear inputs on every angle of your game to develop. You speak to Surendran sir or Mani sir, you get to know more about your strengths. You speak to Vijay Krishnan, who was always a critic. you get to know more about your weaknesses or defects. For a player to grow, you need both, and then decide on what works for you. Still remember waking up at 5 a.m. My mother, who was a physical education teacher, used to wake up with me, prepare tea and some light refreshments before I rush out to catch the first bus to be at Manantara on time. And coming to college days, needless to say, when you join college, it's the duty of the first years in college to take the mat out, nail it, pitch the stumps, wait for the seniors who will be having the fun in the canteen. Devagiri College in those days had a formidable side. Hariharan was a vice head, was a leader. Then we had players like Jayachandran, Rajiv, Jayadevan, all from ECC. We had Jairam, the leggy, Ram Gopal, Hemant, the medium pacers. Manoj used to be a regular wicketkeeper, and Srijit, who used to be an excellent all-rounder, is now with SBI as a bank manager. And a lot of cricketers followed in later. We had Rana, who was the left-arm spinner. Sudhakaran, brother of Jayachandran, was a good all-rounder. And for me, the player who struck me the most was Pradeep, an impressive batsman who left cricket in between and to take up studies and took up medicine. He was almost somebody, according to me, in the Sunil Loyce's class. We had regular practice in college, which meant you get 2 practice sessions in most days, which actually helped a lot. And something which I don't want my parents to hear, they also logged in here. I'd taken up second group for pre-degree. Still remember a physics professor during a practical exams asking me, I don't remember seeing you before. Have you seen me before in class? Yes, I had seen him, but was never in his class, as I was in the afternoon shift and we were practicing, and we had practice going on from 3 p.m. Thank God my parents allowed me to take a BCom after that. Once practice is done, the freshers have to take the whole thing back again before leaving. This was not the only job. If you remember, those days in Calicut Cricket League, we had only one umpire, and the other umpire has to be from the batting side. Officiating as an umpire was another job for the juniors, and no one enjoyed it till the moment we had a match against Falcons in which Kesh was playing. Unni was leading the side, if I'm not wrong, and we were all looking now at what Kesh was up to. St. Joseph's College, Devagiri had a decent side, and we fancied our chances against a strong Falcons CC at our grounds. I was opening the batting, and Falcons said, who is who in Calicut cricket in this side? When Falcons were batting, Kesh, without any pushing, walked out to umpire, which is normally a junior's role. It's normally something which goes to the juniors in the side. That is the time when I realized the commitment and passion of Kesh towards cricket. We youngsters watching this never again felt that umpiring was being thrust upon us, and often volunteered to umpire. This was the impact any senior cricketer player we all look up to can make on the youngsters. Something more on umpiring. Calicut was hosting a South Zone Senior Women's Championship at Medical College grounds. Karnataka, led by Shanta Rangaswamy, and Tamil Nadu, led by Sudha Shah, who was captain of India at that time, were playing, and the atmosphere was like an India Park match. Come match day, KDC had only one umpire at the ground, and it was Harris, who had cleared the umpiring exam, was seriously into umpiring. The organizers rushed to a college and my classroom, and my classroom pulled me out of the class and wanted me to umpire, and I agreed. What more could a boy in second pre-degree want more, to umpire in a state match? Maybe Dr. Raghavan would have been the ideal choice. He was either unavailable or preoccupied. Karnataka batted first and set a total 100 for Tamil Nadu to chase down. Things were smooth till Tamil Nadu started batting. Karnataka were appealing for everything, and at one stage there was an appeal for handle the ball against Tamil Nadu's keeper Sudha Shah, which was upheld by me, and all the hell broke loose. Just to make sure I had made the correct decision, I glanced at Harris at square leg, and I was shocked to see him sitting on the ground with his hand in his head like this. The players were asked to calm down, and we completed the game. Of course, as you all know, there were lots of some history behind these teams. Never umpired a game afterwards, and when the opportunity came my way to go for the BCCI exams, when the rules were relaxed for the players who want to take up umpiring, I said, thank you very much, I'm not umpiring again. This incident helped me in understanding umpiring and how difficult the job of an umpire is, and in approaching the referee's job, which came much later, with a lot of empathy towards umpires. One incident which I would like to mention here, the change of fortune for me. Age 17, I was the first to serve for the North Zone Under-22 side, and the pre-degree exams were around the corner. I'd taken up second group, and my parents decided enough is enough. Keep your kid aside, prepare for your exams. It so happened a few players who were part of the Under-25 side, Usman Kuti and Santosh Babu, could not make it back, and a couple of reserves were added to the squad. No permission from home for me. It was then that Mani sir made the most important phone call of my life to my dad and persuaded him to let me go for this one last time, to which he agreed. Got 100 that game, had a partnership of 100 plus with Anup, our host in the earlier episodes, and also had my first beer. Coming to players from Calicut, I would say Sunil Oasis is for sure the best player yet to come from Calicut. Felt Hari was equally talented, but didn't live up to his talent. Manoj PV was an excellent wicketkeeper batsman who played a lot of junior cricket. Nazir PK, who broke in as a tearaway fast bowler, made it to the Ranji Trophy side. Habib Rahman, who could run through sides on his day, made it to the Ranji Trophy side. Then we had excellent players like Narendra Sharma, Pramod Udyawar, Rakesh Kurian, Luke Francis, Santosh, who we all called Reed, then Jay Krishnan, brother of Hari, elder brother of Hari, Dr. Salim, who played for Farooq St. Joseph School and later Farooq College. We had Sudesh, our host for this, the man behind the whole show, and Pradeep. The stories about Prabhakar Kamath, a fast bowler who was really quick on his day, keeping the ball in the freezer to make it swing more, is legendary. Devagiri had a formidable team during that period. We had a great captain in Hariharan, Jayachandran, Rajiv, Ram Gopal, Hemant, Sudhakaran, and Jay Krishnan and Santosh as fast bowlers who could bat. Had excellent spin options in Hari, Jayaram, and later Rana. Manoj was a regular keeper and some batsmen who could hold their own against any attack, and we were the team to beat in intercollegiate. And it proved exactly that way, as we were beaten every year by some team. We could never be the university champs in my 5 years at Devagiri. 2 years later, a team which could not boast of many big names, led by my brother Sunil, achieved this, and we were crowned university champs. Sometimes the best of teams might not achieve. No better time than this to remember the unsung heroes of Calicut cricket: Baletan of Mananchara, Vasuetan of Medicos, Shanku and Ramdas of REC, Premetan of Devagiri, who ensured that we had a decent mat to practice on and used to get the repair work done in time, as most used areas would come apart frequently and the pitch underneath was rolled in nicely. Friends, domestic scenario has changed drastically. There are career opportunities aplenty in cricket. After switching over to turf wickets, a good groundsman or a curator, as he's called now, holds an important job at the state or BCCI level. So too the umpires can make a career out of umpiring at domestic level. With good consistent umpiring, one can aspire to be in the international panel like our Ananta Padmanabhan is today, and I'm sure with the commitment displayed by him, we could find him in the ICC Alive panel of umpires soon. Same is the case for scorers, whose job is considered as an integral part of any domestic or international match. Our very own Sudhir Ali is the BCCI statistician since 2019. Then there are cricket careers up for grabs as a coach, physio, trainer, masseurs, physiologist, logistics manager, video analyst, etc. Players who played 20 or more first-class matches can take up the job of match referee as well. BCCI has a domestic season, as you all know, which comprises of close to 2,200 matches, multi-day, one day and T20 all put together. We have 120 umpires and 70 referees in the domestic circuit. A passion for the game, a burning desire to be connected with the game and giving it back to the game. A good understanding of the rules and regulations, staying abreast of amendments. Remain consistent, concentrate hard and focus at work with a balanced and professional approach on and off the field. And the most important thing, staying as far away as possible from politics of cricket are some of the attributes which can make one a good official at the state or BCCI level. So youngsters out there, the possibility today in Indian cricket are loaded to succeed as a professional player or as an official. The time has come to take up cricket seriously, for that matter any sport, as a sport as a career option in India, with a subtle reminder to ensure basic education in your playing days, which is essential as well. Remember friends, no pain, no gain. On getting Calicut back on track, top priority I would suggest would be to revive the tournaments, get a Sanju Samson, a Basil Thampi, a Sachin Devi, a Mohammad Asif, a Sandeep Warrior, not to mention the rest, to play in Calicut. Give it proper publicity. I'm sure it will start the revival of the highest level of cricket in Calicut. We have our own stalwarts in Rohan, Rohan leading the pack. Rohan Kundumel leading the pack. I still remember after being part of a state side which had 5 from Calicut, Habib, Luke Francis, Sudesh and Manoj. Let's get the glory days back, friends. Now we have KK sir, who is back in Calicut and is keen on giving it back to the game, sharing his vast experience with the boys. What more can Calicut Cricket ask for? Calicut Cricket has the launch pad it needs. Would urge the association led by a good friend, Sanal Chandran, to do their bit, and we could see Calicut Cricket bounce back in no time. Help and support Rohan by providing him the best of facilities and ensuring he finds his feet in the senior side. Something on our club cricket days when we used to play at Calicut, MS Nair tournament was something we all used to look up to. The tournament used to be held at Angadipuram in FCI grounds, which had a slope, but that didn't take anything away from the tournament. It was well organized. Harrietton and this Jolly Rovers team were the people who were running the. I think it's now into very close to about 70 years of MS Nair. I think I'm not sure exactly. So while I'll tell you something which happened in one of those matches. While part of the team from Calicut playing in MS Nair Trophy at Angadipuram, Ramdas was very much logged in here. Wicketkeeper batsman sustained injury. He was hit on the mouth by delivery from Sriram, who used to bowl real quick, and it didn't look good. The bravery and strength shown by Ramdas was commendable. I was the opening batsman for the game, but was back in the shed when this happened, and I accompanied Ramdas to, ironically, Ramdas Clinic in an auto, and Ramdas was bleeding profusely. He had a towel to hold on to his mouth, which was all red by the time we reached the hospital. He had 4 or 5 teeth coming out through the big gash in the lip, and it looked bad. Once at the hospital casualty, doctors started working on him immediately. And as they had been briefed, and the hospital was owned by Harrietton's family. I realized I was sweating profusely and the room was going around in circles. Someone noticed this and gave me a chair. And I literally passed out for a few seconds. The suitors done. Ramdas was ready to get back and his face looked better with all the taping and the bleeding and the bleeding had stopped. Once back at the ground, our innings was still in progress. I just remember Ramdas going out and playing an innings of 25 odd runs with 2 big sixes. If I remember correctly, it was a real brave act. The takeaway for me from this incident was that I realized how tough a cricketer should be in such times. And I lost my fear of blood. And I was better equipped the next time round when Ranjit, if you all remember, you might all remember Ranjit from Christian College. He was hit on the mouth while attempting a catch, which never seemed to reach him, and hit him bang on the mouth when he opened up his palms. Again, I don't know. I've not seen Ranjit for a long time. Hope he's around Calicut. Got my best pals through cricket. I would say Jay Kumar, fast bowler. We made a debut together in Ranji Trophy. Satish, M.A. Satish, Habib, Fida Asgar, Nazir, PG Sundar, Jayaraj, Hyder Ali, to name a few, and also a few seniors like J.K. Mahindra, and with whom I've never played cricket. There was Kalyan Sundaram, former fast bowler who played for Kerala as well as Tamil Nadu. We were match referees together. Kelly's retired now. So again, coming back to Kerala, Calicut cricket, no talk on cricket. Calicut cricket is complete without taking the name of late Babu Acharya sir, a university coach. The university camps were different. We had to stay at the campus at Tenipalam, and Babu sir always used to put together an excellent side. Babu sir always used to shout from behind while I was batting, cut over the ball, which I never could do. I never worked on it, but developed the skill of missing the fielder 9 times out of 10, which worked for me. Coming second in South Zone Inter-University Tournament and being part of the first team from Kerala to participate in the Rohinton Barrier Trophy, All India Inter-University Tournament at Aligarh was a big occasion. The tournament was held in the month of December, and a cold wave had gripped North India when the temperature dipped close to 0, and we were sleeping on the floor with only a dari. We lost the game against the formidable Delhi University. We were bowled out for 68, but got the strong Delhi University side in the first innings, bowled out the first innings for 74. Though it was a 2-day game, but we lost convincingly. We lost outright by the end of 2 days. something interesting. Dr. Raghavan in his talk mentioned about the match where W.V. Raman scored heavily in an inter-university match at Tenipalam on his way to the Indian side. Once the score went past 500, we had adapted a strategy of keeping everyone on the offside and bowling wide outside off stump. A particular ball was played to deep square leg and the batsman had run 6. The ball stopped inside the boundary. The fielder going to pick the ball up, Anil Kumar, fast medium pacer from Trichur, was actually walking up to the ball slowly in protest. And he turned around, smiled, and kicked the ball out of the boundary, hoping only 4 runs will be given to the batsman instead of the 6 they had already run. To the surprise of all of us, I think Dr. Raghavan was umpiring this game. 10 runs were given to the team. That was law. That was correct according to law. So this is how it is. The players who just want to get out there and play, but do not know much about the laws and the playing conditions. This approach helped me in the refereeing as well. Coming to refereeing, which I thoroughly enjoy nowadays. It's something which helps me contribute, give it back to the game, stay connected with the game. So I started refereeing the year 2000. We used to do 2 matches in a year, and it was only Ranji Trophy games. BCCI came up with a refereeing program in 2006 as player behavior was at its lowest point, and I was considered to be good enough to be nominated. And each year the nominations had to be forwarded from the respective state associations. The names forwarded used to depend on the secretaries of different associations, and continuity was never there. BCCI missed the service of many good referees due to this. In 2012, BCCI came up with an examination to select and empanel referees. We went through an evaluation for 3 days conducted by Simon Toffel, and the examination at the end was a 4-hour affair. I came third in the exam, and that was the beginning. Started doing IPL in 2017, was nominated to the International Panel of Referees by BCCI, where we have 2 match referees from India in 2018. So that is just about it. Would like to thank Ranji Memorial ECC for the tournament opportunity, and will definitely try to make it for the culmination match at Calicut in January. Thank you all for having me here.
Yeah.
That's it from me, guys.
So, guys, I think everybody was so engrossed with this session of Kuti. You can put your questions in the chat box. So that was quite an interesting session. Like, we actually, we all, I am sure a lot of us have gone really down to those grounds where Kuti was taking us. So really a great session, Kuti. Thank you. And we'll start off the question and answer session. Is actually MS Vishwanath, your friend who was a national referee. He had sent us a email. So I'll just read it out. That will be the first thing. Hi Kuti, greetings. Let me first of all apologize for not being part of the webinar in which you are the guest. Certain unavoidable circumstances prevents my participations the same day. I'm fortunate to have followed your cricket right from your young days as a selector for the zone teams and later on as an umpire on the field for your matches at the inter-district and club level. Some of your lusty hittings at our Polytechnic ground, Angadipuram, representing Flashback, Trivandrum and RBI teams is still fresh in my memory. Later on, you became my match referee for quite a few matches, an assessor becoming an assist. How do you rate this turnaround of events? Still, that umpire-referee relationship is maintained. Proud that you are one of the best rated match referees in India now, which justifies your position as a ICC match referee. All the best for a bright future in the field you are in, MS Vishwanath. That was MS.
Yeah, Paul, I would like to add here, like I was a player who was once banned by Trivandrum District Cricket Association for kicking the stumps down and being given out LBW. So that made me understand refereeing as well. Why the referee is there. It is especially to stop player misbehavior. There is mutual respect of players, umpires has to be there. That is what the referee tries to enforce. So for me, the transition from a player to a referee was very smooth, because I could understand umpiring, like what I said, how difficult the umpiring job was, and what goes through a player's mind when you get something, when you get a raw deal on the field from, and in a close game where two equal sides are playing pitted against each other. So that made me understand a lot of things. So the transition was very smooth. I would say couldn't have been better.
Okay. Your friend Jairam sent a comment saying, "Hi Kuti, nice to see you. You must be the one whom I have played with most right from our school days to college. Ayathan, St. Joseph's Schools, Devgiri." So Jairam is here. And Surendran sir, the person, Surendran sir Mani, like you had mentioned, are the persons who have made you, got you into the opener slot. Surendran sir has got a question for you. He is asking, the absence of spectators seems to have no impact on the quality of IPL matches. Your views on it?
So actually, ground reality is the players are missing the spectators. So as officials, we are not bothered about spectators. We just want to get the game done and get out of here. But the players, the intensity level is affected a bit. You would have seen Virat Kohli take a catch in the first game and turn towards the crowd and do, there was no one there. So that intensity level of the players is a bit, I don't know, maybe that Virat needs the crowd to get him going or something, but players are definitely missing the crowd.
Okay. There is Keshavan saying that good that you trace the career options thrown up by BCCI. M.A. Satish is saying that nice chat, Kuti, go well in rest of the IPL. Ramprasad Hariharan, thank you, Kuti, sir, for your wonderful experience. And any questions coming up?
Kuti, one question from me.
Yeah, Hari.
Yeah, you have been speaking of umpiring, captaining, everything, but you yourself were known to be a very good captain. Remember an incident when you had one of your bowlers bowling unchanged from one side in interzonal matches, around 26 overs or something?
I don't know. It had nothing to do with captains. He would have been bowling really well.
Yeah, obviously. Nasir, I'll make it clear, Nasir.
Yeah, Nasir was excellent.
Yeah. So, actually, that's what I wanted to ask. What made you think on that line?
No, Harry, I never captained much. Maybe one year in college. That's it.
Yeah.
Just about it. 1 year for RBI. That's it. I have never captained much. And of course, inter-districts were there for a few years. The inter-zonals, couple of years. That's it. So I had a lot of senior players. In senior zones when we were playing, Kesh was there. A lot of senior players to help and support me and guide me. You were there. So many times for districts. So it didn't matter. It was not me captaining. It was what everyone pitched in there.
Okay.
Would not have been my idea, definitely. I was not a good captain.
That's Kuti for you. Always downplaying his own role. So there is Lakshmi Das from Koilandi, Railview Cricket Club. He is congratulating you. He's also here. Hemal Mehta, I'm sure you'll be knowing.
Yeah, I think I missed out Hemal. He is one of the excellent talents who came out of Calicut, yes.
Yeah, Hemal is here. Hemal is actually asking you, it's extremely a proud feeling to see you as a match referee from playing days to being a match official. Was glad to meet you in Oman during your official duty in one of the tournaments held here. What quality does a cricket need to be a referee?
Hemal, if you want to be a referee in BCCI, I can tell you what you need. You have to play 20 first-class games. Then there's a process where you come through an exam, and that's it. Then you do your induction course, and you're a referee in BCCI. So there are 4 grades of referees: A, B, C, and D. So slowly you work your way up the ranks, and when you're in the A group, you get all these big matches coming your way. That's just about it. Very, very simple process, but the main thing is get through the exams.
Okay. Ramdas is asking, is an ideal talent pool being identified and maintained right from 11-year-olds in Kerala?
Honestly, I am really not connected to grassroots level cricket in Kerala. If you ask me something about the Ranji Trophy set, I might be able to comment on that. Yeah, but we need to have that. the problem I feel nowadays is parents are also pushing the children more towards the studies. They don't have time. I know my son, he played under 14 cricket for Kerala
Okay.
for a couple of years. Then when he was in 10th standard, I myself pulled him out. Said, you better study now. So as a cricketer parent, if I could do it, just imagine what other parents would be thinking. Studies are also equally important. That's my take. So unless the child shows real promise and there are real good facilities where he can go and practice according to his convenience. That is not, which doesn't affect his studies. That is practice at night, practice in the evening, where early morning, where all those indoor facilities, all these things have to come up for cricket at the grassroots level to develop. That's what I feel. We have the money, association has the money. It's only the intent which is required. Yeah, we can get it done.
Thank you. Mohammad Afzal saying, hi Kuti, great going, best wishes, nice session. Anupama Dasapa, thank you Kuti for sharing your wonderful experience. Good luck with refereeing and proud to see you in the ICC panel.
Yeah, thanks Anupama. Anupama is a representative in ICA, Cricketers.
Okay.
Yeah, Indian Cricketers Association, yeah.
We have a few lady members actually attending today's webinar as well as the webinars in the previous 2-3 webinars.
Okay, I think Anupama must know a lot about Kerala cricket now, what's happening in Kerala cricket, grassroots level. Maybe she can open up a discussion on that. She has been involved for more than a year now.
Amrit Ravindran is asking, hi Kuti, how is the bio bubble in IPL? I'm in Dubai.
Hope the bubble doesn't burst. As long as the bubble remains, we are all safe. That's what. Then the tournament is safe, not we are. The tournament is safe. They can't afford to lose match officials. They can there are three levels of bubbles here. The highly protected ones are the players and the match officials, without which the games can't go on. Other organizers, the officials, and the commentators are all lesser priority bubbles. So for us, it's really tough. We can't. There are certain areas which we can't venture out of. We have certain areas in the hotel which only where we can go. So actually, it's very tough. But when you look at it, being part of this event where no sporting activity was happening around the world, and the BCCI to get it done, it's a great effort.
Yes, Murli was asking, which coach has fine-tuned your batting skills?
I would say the nets at Peninsula. That's where it all started. Fine-tuning it's just about understanding your game and how to get runs. That was done, I feel, by Abdul Jabbar when he came to play for coach Kerala. So with whatever technique or whatever talent you have, ultimately what matters is the runs you make. So that is all about batting. It's not about hitting the ball well in the nets. It's not about. It's just about getting the runs out there in the middle. That is where Jabbar came in, and he was good at that. Most of the cricketers who played for Kerala at that time, batsmen especially, benefited from Jabbar's inputs. It's about making runs block by block, but then you need to have the patience, which I never had. So
I remember that.
It was Jabbar.
You were never the patient opening batsman, right?
It's strange. Honestly, I feel I was a dogged opener till about my third year in Ranji Trophy, where it all changed. So in playing cricket in Calicut, I think I was a dogged opener who played a lot of balls to get some runs.
Yeah. You should be asking our opening bowlers.
Once you start getting, you never stop. That's it.
That's right. Once Kuti start hitting, it never stops. There is
I have been a
a
witness to
question
that
from
many of
Radhakrishnan, Citizen Raj. Hello and welcome, Kuti. Great sum of an illustrious career, which of course far from over. For the benefits of the youngsters, could you tell us how you would go about building an innings? What sort of preparation is actually involved, and what is your experience so far in IPL? What is your take on the 2020 format?
Yeah, okay. Rad, building an innings, I just told you build it block by block. Like there have been a lot of coaches who advise you differently. You adopt what's good for you. Count your first 10 runs, go to the next 10 runs. Ultimately, for me, if you see the ball, first ball of the match, if you see it, hit it. That was my approach to the game. I was not looking at the blocks or the bricks. So it was different. I think each player should adapt what suits them. Ultimate basic thing is to get your technique right. Once your technique is right, 90% of the job is done. Then you can adapt to whatever, be it a T20, be it a longer version, you can adapt yourself to that. As a youngster, basically, I would request all of them to focus on getting the technique right, rather than looking at the run. The rest of the things will fall in place as you mature. And T20 cricket and IPL, I would say, big money involved. It's maybe the premier T20 tournament in the whole world. And now, if you look at it, a lot of domestic cricketers, if you have a team, can have only 4 international cricketers in the playing 11, and the squad will be about 18 or 20, which will have about 6 or 7 international cricketers. So 12 Indian cricketers are part of each team, and that takes care of many of the things. Like earlier, we never used to have that. And coming to umpiring and match referees, we also being involved in this. It's good for us, good exposure. When you stand next to a MS Dhoni or a Steve Smith, chat with them before the toss. It's a great feeling, I tell you. Not so initially when we started off the first year, bit nervous, but now things have settled down into my 4th year. It's much better now. It's good for everyone, I would say, T20 cricket. But that's the way forward. Like slowly, you see the test matches also evolving into the ping ball test matches, night test match, day-night test matches. Maybe the ICC is looking at, I understand, to have test matches reduced to 4-day test matches now. So because most of the test matches finish on the 4th day. So things are different now. We have to move along with the times. Rad, did I address your question completely?
Yeah, I think you covered most of the points. And actually, Dinesh had asked, really proud of you. What was your feeling when you walk out for the toss with MSD? So I think you also.
MSD for the first time happened last year. Things were not very good for CSK when I met him, because he had already walked into the ground. Remember the episode last year when he came into the ground in a match, and then he was fined 50% of his match fee for that. I did the next game for CSK, so he was not very happy at that time. So, but this year it's a different MSD. Like he's come out of it. He's retired. He's not under any sort of pressure. He's much more relaxed. He has always been a nice guy. Even if you say Virat Kohli, if you ask me, when you meet him one-on-one, he's an extremely nice person. But when he gets into the game, he gets so much involved that he loses it. So when you meet him outside of the game, and when you meet him inside the game, it's totally different.
Two different.
That's how it is. The game gets into him.
Okay. Now I think I'll take one more question. That is from Lakshmi Das, who's saying, why are the teams winning the toss and putting other teams to bat when most are losing? That too in UAE conditions.
Yeah, the only reason is about the dew factor. So every team feels that dew might come in and the bowlers might not be able to grip the ball when they bowl second. That is why they want to bowl first, and batting second when the dew comes in is much easier because the ball doesn't deviate much from the pitch. It's easier for the batsman. It comes on nicely. But if you allow the opponents to get to a big score like yesterday, 190 to 160, 170 is a power score. Once you cross that and get to 190, chasing becomes very difficult. You have to go initially right from the first over, and once you start losing wickets, that's the end of it. Okay, the T20 game, once you lose wickets, once you lose momentum, there's no coming back.
We have seen very high-scoring matches in the last 1 week, which was never there. Like in India, we couldn't see. We could occasionally see a few high-scoring.
Dubai and Abu Dhabi are huge grounds, but Sharjah is compared to that a very small ground. So in Sharjah, you can expect high-scoring games, and the wicket is also the best wicket is also in Sharjah.
So do you feel like going back onto those grounds once more, Guti?
I feel like the first game, the way CSK bowled 1 or 2 sixes, even I could have hit now in this age.
Yeah, I wanted to hear that. So I would also like to, in your speech, you had mentioned a lot of people about the groundsmen, the people in REC, and people. They are the people actually the essence of cricket, and it's a wonderful gesture, Kuti, that you.
Actually, Paul, I was interacting with Kesh to get this thing done. So Kesh, in fact, suggested, gave me a lot of inputs on this.
Okay. These are all people who we remember, but sometimes we feel we are not acknowledging them enough.
Correct,
so,
yes.
Thank you, Kuti. So, we'll be unmuting the mics after the vote of thanks. So after that, people who wants to talk directly can do that after the vote of thanks. So I think we'll go into the next session. That is, like I told you in my speech, we'll be giving a presentation to the academies and clubs of Calicut. So this time we are showcasing the Sussex Cricket Academy. So I request Sudesh to please put the presentation.
പ്രതിഭകളെ കണ്ടെത്തുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടിയുള്ള ഉദ്ദേശത്തോടു കൂടി ആരംഭിച്ചതാണ് ഈ ക്ലബ്ബ്. ഒട്ടേറെ പരിമിതികൾക്കുള്ളിൽ നിന്ന് പ്രവർത്തിക്കുമ്പോഴും ഈ തുടർച്ചയായിട്ടുള്ള വർഷങ്ങളിൽ നേടിയിട്ടുള്ള നേട്ടങ്ങളിലൂടെ വളർന്ന് ഇന്ന് കേരളത്തിലെ തന്നെ മികച്ച അക്കാഡമികളിൽ ഒന്നായിട്ട് ഈ ക്ലബ്ബ് മാറിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഈ കാലയളവിൽ 1000-ലധികം ജില്ലാതല കളിക്കാരെയും അതോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ ഒട്ടനവധി സ്കൂൾ തലങ്ങളിലും കേരള സ്റ്റേറ്റ് യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റി തലങ്ങളിലും ഒരു ഇന്ത്യൻ അണ്ടർ 19 കളിക്കാരനെയും വാർത്തെടുക്കുവാൻ ക്ലബിന് സാധിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. സാമ്പത്തികമായി പിന്നോക്കം നിൽക്കുന്ന ഒട്ടനവധി കുട്ടികൾക്ക് പഠിക്കാനും അതോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ കളിക്കാനുമായിട്ടുള്ള ഒരുപാട് സഹായം ഈ ക്ലബ്ബ് വർഷങ്ങളായിട്ട് നൽകി വരികയാണ്. കഴിഞ്ഞ 4 വർഷമായിട്ട് ഉന്നത നിലവാരം പുലർത്തുന്ന ഓൾ കേരള ക്രിക്കറ്റ് ടൂർണമെന്റ് ഈ ക്ലബ്ബ് നടത്തി വരികയാണ്. കൂടാതെ സ്കൂൾ തലങ്ങളിലും ഇന്റർ കോളേജിയറ്റ് തലങ്ങളിലും നടത്തുന്ന ടൂർണമെന്റുകൾക്ക് വേണ്ട സഹായ സഹകരണങ്ങൾ ഈ ക്ലബ്ബ് നൽകി വരുന്നു. കുറെ വർഷങ്ങളായിട്ട് ജില്ലാ ലീഗിൽ കളിക്കുന്ന 2 ടീമുകളും അതാത് ഡിവിഷനുകളിൽ 1ഉം 2ഉം സ്ഥാനം നിലനിർത്തി വരികയാണ്. കേരളത്തിൽ സംഘടിപ്പിക്കുന്ന പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട ഓൾ കേരള ടൂർണമെന്റുകളിൽ ഈ ക്ലബ്ബ് പങ്കെടുക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. കൂടാതെ കുട്ടികൾക്ക് അതാത് കാറ്റഗറിയിൽ കൂടുതൽ മാച്ച് പ്രാക്ടീസ് ലഭിക്കുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടി 30ഓളം പ്രാക്ടീസ് മാച്ചുകൾ ഈ ക്ലബ്ബ് ഓരോ വർഷവും നടത്തുന്നുണ്ട്. അവർക്കായിട്ട് നടത്തുന്ന വിവിധ ടൂർണമെന്റുകൾ അവരെ പങ്കെടുപ്പിക്കുകയും ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. കോഴിക്കോട് കാരപ്പറമ്പിൽ ആധുനിക സൗകര്യങ്ങളോടുകൂടിയ ഒരു ഇൻഡോർ നെറ്റ്സും ടർഫ് ഗ്രൗണ്ടും ഈ ക്ലബിന്റെ കീഴിൽ പ്രവർത്തിച്ചു വരികയാണ്. ആ സൗകര്യങ്ങളിൽ തന്നെ കോച്ചിന്റെ ലഭ്യത ഉറപ്പുവരുത്തിക്കൊണ്ട് എല്ലാ ദിവസവും പ്രാക്ടീസുകൾ ഈ ക്ലബ്ബ് അവിടെ നടത്തി വരികയാണ്. വരും വർഷങ്ങളിൽ കുട്ടികൾക്കായിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ഓൾ കേരള ടൂർണമെന്റ് കൂടെ ഈ ക്ലബിന്റെ നേതൃത്വത്തിൽ നടത്തുവാനായിട്ടുള്ള തീരുമാനം എല്ലാവിധ സന്തോഷങ്ങളോടുകൂടി നിങ്ങളെ അറിയിക്കുകയാണ്.
Yeah.
Yes, wonderful.
That was Ajay Alex, the president of the Sussex Cricket Academy, giving the presentation. Like all of you know, they are been doing a lot of good work from 1983 onwards. So let's wish we'll be featuring more academies and clubs in the coming webinars. So over to you, Hari, for the quiz time.
Okay, so here comes question number 1. Who holds the record for the highest opening partnership in Test cricket? The answer should contain the names of both the players and the score. I repeat, who holds the record for the highest opening wicket partnership in Test cricket? Suresh, can you display the question, please?
Questions will be displayed. This is the questions which are displayed.
Question number 1.
Question number 1.
I repeat my request, please mention your name also along with the answer.
Answers may be put in the chat box.
Question number 2, which batsman has hit the highest number of sixes in ODIs? Fastest one to answer both the questions correctly will be the winner.
Thank you, Hari, for that. So, like you said, the winner of this quiz competitions will be called for the match on Jan 17th, and we'll be honoring him on that particular day. So please send in your answers fast with the name, please. Next, Sudesh, I request you to show the details about the speaker for the next webinar, which is on October 18th. It's none other than our own Sunil Ayasis, who has, like most of you know, who has done a lot for Kerala cricket and Calicut cricket in particular. So he'll be the next speaker for our 5th webinar. So please be there. We'll be sending out the links and posters, and please make sure that you spread this links to your friends and people who you feel that would like to know more about Calicut webinars. Plus, our YouTube links are also there for the last 3 webinars. So if you're interested, you can just, all the talks have been documented in these webinars. So for the concluding this webinar, I would like to call upon our experienced keeper of ECC, Sunil Sridhar, who is currently in Muscat, please to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, Sunil.
Thank you, Paul. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy and privileged to participate in the 4th live webinar, My Cricketing Days in Calicut and Beyond, conducted by ECC Ranji Memorial Society, featuring Mr. Narayan Kutty, former Kerala Ranji player and current ICC match referee. First of all, we thank Mr. Narayan Kutty for taking time off from his busy IPL schedule and agreeing to share his experiences regarding his cricketing days in Calicut. His vast experience and immense knowledge shared on cricket and cricketing history of Calicut in the 80s and beyond brought nostalgic memories of Manandra Maidan, district cricket, league cricket, college cricket, university cricket, etc. I also thank all of the participants, especially from the patrons, KCA, KDCA officials, former and current players, Calicut cricketing fraternity as a whole, visual and print media, especially Madhubhumi and Malayalam Manorama. I also thank the organizers for making this 4th webinar, live webinar, a grand success. Thanks to Mr. Paul, Mr. Hari, and others, various others of the club members who have contributed towards the success. Kutty, it goes without saying that all of us from Calicut do feel very proud when you walk out for the toss with the likes of Dhoni, Steve Smith, Kohli, etc., to name a few. And when we can point out to that person on the screen and say, he's from Calicut, we played with him. I also thank all the organizers for allowing me to propose this vote of thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunil.